Democracy scholars warn that political parties must accept fair election results, reject violence and break ties with extremists. Washington. In sequel to their 2018 bestseller, How Democracies Die, authors Daniel Ziblatt and Stephen Levitsky write about 3 rules political parties should follow: accept the results of fair elections, reject use of violence for gain, cut ties with extremists. Only one U.S. political party violated all 3 following the 2020 election. They write, Saturday marks 3rd anniversary of attack on Capitol on Jan. 6, 2021. And former President Donald Trump is clear leading Republican candidate in 2024. He still refuses to acknowledge his earlier loss to Mayor Joe. Far from disavowing the rioters, he suggested he would pardon some of those convicted of violent crimes. Instead of distancing himself from extremists, he welcomes them to his rallies and calls them patriots. And Trump is now supported by many Republican leaders who are running for their lives and hiding from the rioters. Some even condemned Trump. Many top GOP leaders have endorsed his candidacy. Support for Trump dramatically highlights divisions that emerged in wake deadly attack on Capitol, and frames question of whose definition governance will prevail and whether democracy will prevail. Levitsky, a Harvard professor whose new book is The Tyranny of the Minority, said, if our political leaders do not stand up to defend democracy, our democracy will not be defended. There is no country in the world, in history, where politicians have renounced democracy but institutions have embraced it, he told the Associated Press. People must defend democracy. The 3rd anniversary of January 6 attack coincides with most turbulent period in American politics in at least a generation. Congress is barely keeping up with basics of governing, and presidential nominating races are just over a week away. Trump's persistent false claims that 2020 election was stolen, which have been denied in at least 60 lawsuits, all state election certifications and by the former president's one-time attorney general, continue to fuel presidential race as we eye a rematch with Trump. Instead, Trump now faces more than 90 charges in federal and state courts, including a federal indictment by special counsel Jack Smith, which accuses Trump of conspiring to do the United States over the election. Speaking near Valley Forge in Pennsylvania on Friday, Biden recalled Jan. 6, saying that day we almost lost America. We lost everything. As Congress returned night certify election results and show world that democracy was still standing. Biden said Trump was now trying to revise narrative of what happened day, calling rioters patriots and promising pardon them. And he said some Republicans in Congress were complicit. When the attack on January 6 occurred, there was no doubt that it was real, Biden said. These MAGA voices who know the truth about Trump and January 6 have now abandoned